suddenly we've got this very small area of incredibly strong winds. Now, we're already looking at very strong winds, gusting quite wide up to around 50 miles per hour, but over some exposed coasts and hills up to 70, even 80 miles per hour. So
Gosh.
some very strong winds. And that kind of wind strength is more than capable of causing travel disruption, taking out power lines. We could possibly lose mobile phone coverage. Those are very, very strong and damaging winds.
Now, brace yourselves as another storm is set to hit the UK next week. Storm Isha is going to bring gales of up to 80 miles an hour with a Met Office warning it could affect the entire country. Let's welcome to the show Joe Wheeler, Talk TV weather presenter. Joe, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Yes, so it's barely turning milder, and then this storm is going to be upon us. It arrives tomorrow, and as you said, we're looking at some very, very strong winds and also quite a lot of rain.
I can't say I'm looking forward to it, Joe, but then again, who is? But is this unusual in your experience covering the weather? Is this unusual or is it just winter?
Well, I have to say, it probably is the first time that I've seen an entire country yellow warning and such an extensive amber warning. So that is fairly unusual, yes. But I'm well aware of the fact that many people don't like the warning system. They just want to hear it's wet and windy. That's it. They'll deal with the rest of it. They say it's winter or it's autumn or it's spring. Absolutely, totally understand that. I think there are times when we do need to put some of these warnings out, and possibly this is one of them. Partly because we've had high pressure over us for like a week, 10 days. It's been cold and, for many of us, blue skies. I know parts of Scotland have had some very, very heavy snow, but suddenly we're going to see this switch to really unsettled weather. And the reason for this is because the jet stream is very strong, and this is down to temperature disparity over the states. So this has driven this low pressure system. And whilst this is an established storm system, it gets caught up in the jet stream and then spat out again when it comes to us. And so it's going to be deepening all the time. So that it also carries the risk of having a sting jet in its tail. Now, this is what we saw in 1987, the hurricane that wasn't, where suddenly we've got this very small area of incredibly strong winds. Now, we're already looking at very strong winds, gusting quite wide up to around 50 miles per hour, but over some exposed coasts and hills up to 70, even 80 miles per hour. So
Gosh.
some very strong winds. And that kind of wind strength is more than capable of causing travel disruption, taking out power lines. We could possibly lose mobile phone coverage. Those are very, very strong and damaging winds. And then if you get this small area of a sting jet, then obviously that could be worse still. And accompanying with all of that, we've got some heavy rain. Many places seeing 2 inches, could be up to 4 inches in some places.
But what's happening to the temperatures, Joe? Will they rise just a little bit?
They're rising already. Literally, we've been down below normal for the last week, 10 days. And certainly by today, western parts will be seeing 10, 11 degrees Celsius, which is really quite extraordinary. And over the next few days, 11, 12, 13. Yes, it's going to be very mild. You won't feel it so much, though, because with the strength of the winds, obviously, that's going to detract from those values. But yes, it is going to feel incredibly, much milder than it has.
OK, batten down the hatches, prepare for the wind and the rain. Joe Wheeler, thank you, as ever, for giving us your time. Joe Wheeler there, Talk TV weather presenter.